So the previous low bar with canceling yourself was probably Britain with Brexit, right? Where they just put sanctions against themselves. They're ruining their own country after voting for it, right? And Kanye is like, well, hold my beer, okay? I can cancel myself even harder and even faster. At this point, Ye says that he has lost almost all his money. I think Forbes estimated previously he was a billionaire. Now he's down to 400 million. Keep in mind, this is not the end of the decline of his net worth. It keeps going down because I'm guessing that people like him own a lot of property. He might own yachts and all this kind of stuff costs a lot of money to just maintain. Okay, so if you don't have money coming in after all the deals that he had with almost every company were cancelled, then your money is melting away rather quickly. And that's what we can witness right now. And the beauty of this, to me personally, is that we get no empathy. There's nobody out there, at least I've seen nobody who's like, no, guys, leave Kanye alone. It wasn't that bad what he said. It's like, no, everyone agrees, including all these corporations, that what he said was absolutely unacceptable, right? And to be honest, often when highly influential people like him say stuff like this, it often gives other people on Twitter, on social media, a leverage and a reason to express their anti-Semitic views as well. And they're like, now I'm justified in saying because Kanye says it as well, and he'll probably... So you get loads of people being very upset and expressing anti-Semitic opinions on Twitter. But we've seen that less so. I mean, to be honest, overall, we have seen like a resurfing hate towards Jewish people, sadly, in recent years. But amidst all this division and the hate against minorities and immigrants and hate against Muslims and trans people and all that, this gives me a little bit hope in humanity that we're not seeing this huge resurgence of people saying, oh, I side with Kanye and I'm with him. Because no matter how you try to justify what he said, there is no excuse for it. I saw some people coming forward and saying, yeah, but he's struggling with mental illness, he's bipolar, he's not taking his meds, also he's been hanging out with Candace Owens. I don't care. I don't care what your mental state is. If you're an influential person on that level, you better get your act together and don't say inappropriate stuff like that. So I'm very happy that he's now paying the highest possible price for it. And I don't think we've ever seen a cancellation of someone canceling themselves like that. And the stuff that he said makes it so blatantly obvious that he's politically, historically, economically illiterate. Basically, he has no idea and does not understand what he's talking about. And don't get me wrong, I never was a Kanye fan, but I didn't hate him. Right? Like some of the early beats that he made for Jay-Z, that stuff was fire. Okay, then he did this tour with like N-words in Paris, like all these kind of tracks that he did with Jay-Z as well. That stuff is crazy good, man. I love it. Shit's cray. He's a great producer, right? Songs like Gold Digger and all that. It's good stuff. But again, it doesn't save you or give you some kind of free card to say the things that he said, okay? I mean, at this point, he's been dropped from his deal with Adidas, with his deal from Gap, with his deal from Balenciaga, Vogue, MRC, right, the movie production company. His talent agency dropped him. His attorney, Camille, Vasquez, which he just appointed a few days ago. It's the previous attorney of Johnny Depp. She dropped him. MRC canceled a whole documentary with him that they already had in the works. They were already shooting it. They probably had the footage, canceled it anyway. But it's not just his latest tweet. It's not just this one thing where he's like, oh, I'm going DEFCON 3. This is bad enough. But I mean, check out stuff like this. Business executive says Kanye created hostile work environment due to obsession with the German... look, I'm not going to read this word out. It's going to be instantly demonetize my video. But anyway, he praised this person, you got to read it yourself on screen, saying how incredible it was that he was able to accumulate so much power and would talk about all the great things that he and the German party achieved for the German people. Now, this business executive used to work with Kanye, and then he said he left his position and reached a settlement with West and some of his companies over workplace complaints, including harassment, which CNN had reviewed. The former executive asked not to be named due to a confidentiality agreement and fear of retribution by West. Jesus Christ, it's like mafia-level structures there. According to the agreement, West denied the executive's allegations. It's like, yes, I said all these things against Jewish people, but this is just really not true. There's no way that this is true. Beyond that, it seems that Kanye has such a grumpy and angry mindset at this point because everyone's against him that he just wants to build his own mini-city called the Yecosystem. This is not a joke, okay? This is an article in the Rolling Stone. This is absolutely real. Okay, so 2 Yeezy sources say that West's plan for his own small universe has been in the works for years, describing it as a self-sustained enterprise that would have its own branded products and services. Check this out. West's plan for his own small universe has been in the works for years, 2 Yeezy sources confirmed to Rolling Stones. The sources describe it as a self-sustained enterprise that would have its own branded homes, retail stores, and sells Yecosystem-branded food items and beverages. The plan is serious, with arrangements to launch the first campus as early as next month. Eventually, West hopes to establish these mini communities across the country. And we're getting strong Jonestown vibes from this, okay, with a cult leader who has seemingly lost his mind, okay? That's how it looks to me, again, allegedly. But I think he just wants everyone to pray to him. There's gonna be a giant golden Ye statue in the middle of each, what is it called? Yecosystem. And then everyone at 12 p.m. has to pray to that statue and give all glory to the leader, to the glorious, all-knowing leader. I mean, it sounds funny, but the truth is this stuff is dangerous. I'm not joking when I'm saying there are like Jonestown vibes from this. Like, here we have a hyper-narcissistic, megalomaniac leader who thinks he's God with massive mental challenges, trying to establish his own communities. He's already angry, he's already disgruntled, and you can trigger, whether it's Jonestown or whether it's stories like Charles Manson, you can manipulate these hardcore fans and believers into doing awful things. So there is absolutely like a potential threat coming from stuff like this. And considering how he shows himself in interviews and stuff, often it's just not coherent what he says. If you look at the interview with Joe Rogan, like 2/3 of it just make no sense at all. And even the newer interviews, it seems like there's a strong decline as well in his cognitive abilities of just articulating what's actually going on in his mind and making sense of it. He just rambles. Okay, but this stuff sounds smart to stupid people. And that's part of the danger of things like that. On top of that, people like him are always surrounded by these yes men, right? You know what that is. It's just, if you're very famous, you're very wealthy, everyone around you will confirm that everything you say is just genius. He says something very dumb and incoherent, everyone's like, wow, that's brilliant, right? That's really smart. And he reaches this level of infinite false confidence that again adds to the danger of stuff. So I would not be surprised if he actually pulls something like this off. He establishes the ecosystem, okay? People come in, pay horrendous amounts of money, drink his ecosystem drinks, eat his ecosystem food, pray to him, the dear leader, 4 times a day. And in 6 years from now, when he's completely ruined and he's just this disgruntled megalomaniac leader in his little ecosystem place, he weaponizes all these radicalized fans and supporters that he still has. It would not surprise me. Again, not saying that that's what it is, but I can see that happening. That stuff is not a joke. People who believe too much in an ideology or an idea are potentially extremely dangerous. But before ending this video, I want to talk a little bit about the actual point that he's raising. Okay, I want to share my opinion on his views on Jewish people and Jewish people as a whole. Okay, it's not just about Kanye's opinion on Jewish, because you see this everywhere, right? There's like a big resurfacing of anti-Semitism around the world. A lot of people say, well, the elites and the banks and everyone in high positions in media and music and politics, they're all Jewish and they try to, and the Jew is the bad guy. Let me tell you about my experience with Jewish people. I grew up in Germany, and for whatever reason, there are not many Jewish people in Germany, okay? But when I did my master's degree, okay, I studied with several people from Israel, and they were mostly from Tel Aviv. And when you work with those people, you start to understand why they are in those high positions. Because you're in a room with 20 people who are all fairly smart, you know, everyone's studying their master's degree, these are all highly educated people, and you're working on solving a problem. And 20 people try to chime in, and everyone adds their bit to it and trying to work towards solving the problem and do their best they can. Now, after 2 hours, one of the guys from Tel Aviv entered the room. This is just one scenario, okay? This happened over and over again. So this guy enters the room and he starts to take part in the process of solving this problem. Within 10 minutes, you had a new angle, you had a different perspective on the problem, you were 5 steps closer to solving this problem just because this one guy participated. Obviously, doesn't apply to all Jewish people, but I was very close with him, and he was one of my best friends at the time, so he introduced me to some of the Jewish circles that he was in, and I met a lot of people from Israel, a lot of people from Tel Aviv. They were all incredibly bright. Okay, those guys were just such developed thinkers that nobody else in this whole master's degree course, and to be honest with you, probably very few people that I met throughout my whole life were able to keep up with that level of intelligence, with that level of problem solving. So from my experience, again, it's just my personal experience and it doesn't apply to all Jewish people, but these guys are just incredible thinkers, incredible problem solvers. They are highly efficient, they work extremely hard, and they are just super smart. And that's why they're in those positions. And obviously, there's an element of jealousy in that as well. It's like you're like, why are all these Jewish people in all these high positions? Yeah, because they're extremely smart. They are really, really clever. They can read the room better than you. They can solve problems probably better than you. They're just all round, it seems like, better functioning human beings. Okay? That's my experience with these people. So every time I hear someone saying like, well, they're all Jewish people, this and that about Jewish, bro, you're just expressing your jealousy, okay? You're just saying to me, I am not as good as those guys, and that's why I'm angry. I'm an angry person because those guys are better than me. With Kanye, it's a slightly different situation because obviously he accumulated so much wealth himself. I think a lot of anger in the average population just comes from these people just being extremely wealthy and powerful. Again, work extremely hard on yourself, on your brain, on your problem-solving skills over generations, and you'll come to a place as well. But if you are spending most of your time, getting drunk and partying and going out and not being good at school and working hard, well then, don't talk about Jewish people being better than you because you simply didn't work as hard as them. And it's not only you. Often it stretches over generations, okay? This stuff is a generational thing. So while I think that a lot of the hate that's in Kanye regarding these people doesn't come from his jealousy towards their wealth or power or something, it is just plain and simple a lot of misinformation, I think, that he fell for. But for the average population, it's a lot of jealousy, it's a lot of anger over something they don't even understand. At least that's my impression and how I see this. Anyway, guys, it's a hypersensitive topic, so I wasn't even sure whether I should do this video at all because I would probably lose subscribers over it and people are like, no, you're wrong, and a lot of people are going to get angry. Fine. Leave your thoughts down in the comments, okay? I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts. Obviously, if you're going on an anti-Semitic rant down in the comments, I'm going to delete that comment. But if you're being sensible, even you're disagreeing with me and you have a different experience with Jewish people or something like that, that's fine. Everything is tolerated. If you're being reasonable and not hateful, it's fine for you to share your opinion, all right? So leave your opinions in a reasonable manner down in the comments. I would love to read them. If you enjoyed the video, against all odds, then please smash the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that and hope to see you in another video. Take care of yourselves and I'm out. Bye.